to our...
This meeting is being recorded.
Lenny, before you start, I'm going to just mute everybody.
Okay.
You'll have to unmute yourself. Lenny, you have to unmute yourself. Hang on a sec. Lenny, can you unmute yourself?
Have to click that. Got it. That work?
Yep.
All right. So welcome to our August Camp Zoom session for weeks 1 and 2 for 2026. My name is Lennie Steinmetz. I am the camp director for weeks 1 and 2 this year. And you will be hearing from me and from a lot of people who are involved in making August Camp happen this year, who are here to tell you a little bit about what to expect at camp and what you can do to help prepare yourselves and be ready for a fun time this summer. Janine, I would like to introduce, first of all, Janine Broncoli, who is our August Camp committee chair. And Janine is waving and she'll just say hi.
Hi, I'm Janine. I'm co-chair along with Virginia Campbell, also director of communications, so all those emails and website and stuff like that. And yeah, lots of behind the scenes stuff.
And she is also the wonderful person who sends out all of the communications that you receive from August Camp. She is our tech savant, and she's here tonight to help us keep this running smoothly, since my husband and I were running into some tech problems this afternoon. She kindly agreed to jump on and help be our host for this evening's program. So, Janine, with that, could you get us onto the PowerPoint presentation and we can start. So, welcome. And my sharing ability is with arrows, right? Before we start, we have on the screen here that you should make sure you're muted, but Janine already took care of that. And Janine, did you do the little thing whereby I'm supposed to be able to move through the screen?
Yes, you should be able to accept that.
Oh, I have to accept something. Ah, well, I'm going to let you talk for a minute while I get my tech guru.
All right, I'll just do it again, Lenny. Okay, well, while Lenny's getting Bill, glad everyone's here tonight, and hopefully we'll be able to answer some questions. We've got a lot of members of the committee that are on tonight who attend various weeks, and we have a really active committee. We are already working on 2027, which is exciting. Like we're that far in advance, and there's lots of things happening behind the scenes. Okay, Lenny, I'm going to reshare it.
Okay.
And then I'm going to give you control.
Okay.
Do you see it pop up?
A pop-up that's supposed to give me control. I love it. And I can control.
You are in control.
I see I'm controlling Janine's screen.
Sorry.
Network traffic.
He's not responding.
He is not responding. Well,
Wait, you should have it. You didn't get it? Okay.
Could be network issues, Janine.
well, maybe we'll just
You
go.
have it. You have it right now. You're using it.
I'm using it.
Mm-hmm.
There we
There
go.
you go.
It just happened. It's wonderful.
Okay.
Okay, so this is August Camp 2026, everything you need to know. And we will have a chat room down below that you can log into if you have questions as we go, but also you may want to wait until we get through some things, so because we may answer the questions you have as we do our presentation. It's moving a little slowly here.
It's the network.
And that's the network, he says. So I'm clicking,
It has to get.
and there it goes. The August Camp trailer is all packed up and waiting for us in one of our favorite locations. Which is Concrete, Washington, and the North Cascades. When you get to Concrete, the actual town, you will really see this curious looking concrete building, which is their welcome sign and kind of gives you a sense of what the town was built on. But you won't see very much of that while you're there, because what you'll see, the kind of views that you see on the right, which is to say beautiful, beautiful mountains and woods and lakes and lots of fun things to enjoy. This is a little capture of some of the scenery you might anticipate while you're there, including snowy mountains, we hope,
And that's Mount Baker.
which we will not be climbing, but you can wave at it. And you'll see some giant trees. If you look at the tree on the left, you'll notice there's a little tiny person down at the bottom, which gives you a sense of how big some of the trees are in this part of the world. You'll also see one of the interesting bridges you might get to cross in your travels, and some of the beautiful flowers that will be greeting us there. There's amazing flowers in the North Cascades. If you're from the East Coast and you've never hiked out west, you will be astounded with how many flowers are out there at this time of year. Of course, we get them a little earlier in the spring, but not quite as many as they get out there. And they also have some very interesting wildlife that we'll be seeing in the course of our travels. Hopefully nothing close up with the bear, but we do see a lot of these cute little critters in our travels, and it makes the trip very interesting. So, what can you expect at camp this year? Camaraderie. We have a good time together. We have a lot of very nice people who come to camp, and they have a good time together. Some of them have been at camp a number of times. Some of them are there for their first time, but they all seem to get along very well together. And we're delighted that this is such an important part of our time at August Camp. You'll also get some good food. Now, I can't guarantee you'll get a cute watermelon basket like this year, but you will get wonderful food. The person on the left that you see is our baker that from the past year, and she's hard at work at making homemade bread, which is one of the things you can look forward to, and lots of other good food. You'll also get lots of great hiking. We will be running about 6 different hikes each day, and they all go to wonderful places with wonderful views. You'll also be seeing lots of beautiful flowers. As I mentioned, they're very prevalent out there at this time of year. Lots of spectacular scenery. And now for a few pointers to help you prepare for camp. How is August Camp run? This is a bulletin board you may see up at camp this year that kind of explains things, but just to give you a little preview. You'll be seeing a variety of in-camp volunteers, including the camp director, that's me, the head hike leaders and hike leaders who you'll meet the head hike leader because she'll be telling you about the hikes in a little bit. And some of our hike leaders are also on the call tonight, and they may wave at you at some point. Transportation manager, our transportation coordinator, who is also a volunteer, is here, and she'll be telling you more about how transportation works. And our ambassadors, who are the very friendly people who will be helping to welcome you to camp. And you'll be hearing from our ambassador coordinator, who will tell you how that works. We also have a wonderful paid staff, including camp manager, Becca, who could not be with us tonight, unfortunately, because she's between graduate courses and she has a little break in here and was taking advantage of the opportunity to do a camping trip herself before she goes to work on her summer job. But fortunately for us, our assistant manager from last year, Karen, has very kindly agreed to step in and explain something to you about how the crew and the cooks and all those wonderful people that work really hard, how that all comes together. So Karen, how about you take over at this point?
Awesome. Nice to meet you all. I'm not on your crew this year, but I have been on your crew many years in the past. I've been to August Camp 7 or 8 times, so I'm happy to share a little bit about what crew does. This year, your manager is Becca. They are fantastic. They are in graduate school and camping, so they're not here. But you will have 11 paid young adults to help you set up camp and to help you have the best time you can at camp.
And Janine, I do not have control to click through any of the slides here, so you're going to need to do that.
Okay. I had
don't know that
minimized
you're
it so
sharing your screen.
so Karen could share.
Awesome. There's 11 young adults. Some of them are in college. A lot of them have recently graduated from college or are early in their careers. They all come out for the summer to work at August Camp. They all love being outside, just like you guys do, and a lot of them will be returning. So Becca is your camp manager. Becca has been to August Camp many, many times. This might be their 7th or 8th summer as well. And Will is your head cook, I believe, who was your head cook as well last year. So he should have everything under his belt and ordering things. I'll describe your site a little bit. That's a fun picture with the deer, but this is where you will live. This is what we call Tent Village or Camperville. Every camper will get most likely a roommate, and we set up approximately 38 of these Army canvas tents. They are waterproof on the outside. You will get a tent and a roommate, and then inside of your tent is 2 cots. So you each get a cot. You do need to bring your own sleeping pad and a sleeping bag. But these will be set up for you. We also have tarps that you can borrow, rent to put on the bottom or right outside. Some people like to make a porch. But this is what you will get when you arrive. So you will bring your suitcase in here. I think it's important to keep that in mind that you might be bringing your suitcase in there from not a super long distance, but it is in the woods. We want you to be as secluded as possible. These are some examples of what it might look like once you live here. People definitely take a liberty to make them very homey. But all you will get when you walk in, they will not look this nice. It will be that Army tent and the 2 cots. You can add the tarp. You will add your sleeping pad and your sleeping bag, so make sure to bring those. They all are waterproof and fairly comfortable, so you hopefully will enjoy that. We also work to set up some showers. They are built by us. They're made out of PVC pipe and tarps. They maintain your privacy. They have little swinging doors, and they use a lever system that use these sun showers that you see in the picture. They're sold at most big retailers, so if you would like to take a shower after a day of hiking, there are a number of showers available. You'll lay your sun shower out filled with water in the beginning of the day. It'll heat up during the day, and then you will use our lever system inside a kind of like shower stall that we construct to take your shower. I think that's a nice luxury of August Camp. We also have a bunch of porta potties for your facilities. There are lots of them located at different locations throughout camp. Luckily, we get them serviced 3 times a week, so they are normally fairly clean and do not smell super bad, which is awesome. We also have some hand washing stations, so you will be able to wash your hands after you use the bathroom at camp. This is the most exciting part that I feel like is the most exciting part to share with you. Our main job after we arrive a week before you guys get there, we set everything up. That includes your camperville. Our camperville, we stay in the same tent you do, just in a separate location. We set up your dining tent, which is pictured here on the left, which is a large kind of event tent with 8 picnic tables inside of it. And then we set up a full commercial kitchen, which you see on the right here. It has 3 big industrial stoves, lots of countertops, all the things you need to create really wonderful meals for camp. Your meals look like you have 3 main meals throughout the day. We serve breakfast at 7 a.m. Breakfast is served at the same time. You will all kind of congregate there in the morning. We will ring a bell that tells you when to sit, and then you will be served by your wonderful crew, which is a really fun job to get to know the people that will be serving you. But we will hang up a menu that you can see in the picture so you will know what to expect. Every day is slightly different. We won't serve you the same thing every day, but we will serve you kind of the same array of things. You will normally have eggs in some kind of form, a breakfast meat, which might be bacon or sausage, a delicious homemade baked good, and then a variety of cold items. The cold items do stay the same, so you'll have yogurt, granola, oatmeal, cereal, juice, milk, those kind of things. So a variety of things to start your day off right. One exciting thing to mention is that everything at August Camp is made from scratch. So you will be eating delicious food made by your crew that is made from scratch in our kitchen by our crew of 10, 11 people. After that,
Karen,
you will, yes?
I'm seeing a good question here about how do you handle food allergies? And those should have all been reported on the one of the forms you filled out, and that information does get to the cooks and to the camp to the camp manager, and then you do a lot of good things in terms of handling that, right?
Yes. So we all take a food handlers through the state. It is a commercial kitchen. We all get prepared like anyone would in a restaurant. And then Lennie and the committee will share with us your list of dietary restrictions and allergies before the week starts. We as a crew review them, and then we make any necessary accommodations. So meals are served family style. You will sit with 8 people, and we will serve you a large container enough to feed 8 people of what you will eat. Then once everything is served, we will ring a little chime and we will make an announcement. And at the front of the dining tent, we will provide the dietary alternatives. So there will be a vegan option, there will be a vegetarian option, there will be a nut-free option. Depending on what dietary restrictions are needed that week, we will offer that at the front for those people who have those dietary restrictions. If you have any questions or concerns, we will ask you to talk to the cook at the beginning of the week just so we can clear everything up. But we are able to accommodate gluten-free as well. Yes, I saw your question. So that's breakfast and a little bit about dietary accommodations. Your lunch is an order form that you see here in this picture. We will make you a sandwich, a very delicious sandwich. I hope you have choices of bread, meat, cheese, vegetables, condiments, all of that you will fill out at breakfast or the day before. And then you will hand it in to us and we will make you a sandwich. We will give you your sandwich before you leave for your hike in the morning. And then we have a variety of snacks that go with your sandwich. You will get 2 delicious cookies. You might get some veggie sticks. You might get some fruit. You might get some gorp or trail mix. But you will order a sandwich and then you can kind of pick what kind of snacks you would want. So we don't decide those for you. We just put them out and then you can decide. And then for dinner, you'll come back from your hiking trip. Everyone is back. Some people like to take a shower before them, but you'll get back a little bit before dinner. And then I want to say Lennie dinner is at 6, but you can correct me if I'm wrong about that. Dinner is served at 6. Again, everyone congregates at one time. You will sit down, we will ring a bell, and we will serve you again, family style. It will include a homemade soup, a homemade bread, and a homemade salad in every meal. The variety will change, but you will get all of those components, and then you will have some kind of vegetable and a meat as well, and then a homemade dessert made by our baker. So you will eat very well coming to August Camp. But overall, the crew is there to help you and to help you guys have a great time at camp. We will set everything up for you, and then we will cook great food for you. And if you have any questions, we love to chat with you. So let us know. I hope you guys have a great time.
Thank you, Karen. Yay. And sadly, for those of you who knew Karen last year, she will not be with us this year because she will be taking some graduate courses, and we're going to miss her very much because she was wonderful to have on board.
I would love to be there, but unfortunately, I'm taking some grad school classes, but hopefully in the future, summer in the future.
Good. Yay. So
And we have a question about tipping.
we'll be talking about that in a bit, but let's continue with giving people a sense of the daily routine. So
Right.
the schedule of the day hasn't changed much over the years. We wake up, we eat, we hike, we snack, we hike, we eat, we hike, we take showers, we rest and enjoy things, and eat some more, and then have our campfire where we all come together to hear about the adventures of the day and the plans for the next day. So we repeat that 7 times with occasional variations. And as you can guess, August Camp is a very busy place. And as it has been since 1887, August Camp is primarily a hiking camp. We do a lot of hikes. There are 6 offerings usually most days. There are also some bike or kayak trips. And sometimes some swimming along the way. And Mark Kern is our expert on the subject of swimming. So Mark, can you tell them a little bit about how that works?
Okay, well, we're on the Skagit River, and it's about a 5 to 10 minute walk down.
Mark, can you get closer to your mic?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
We're on the Skagit River, and we're 5 to 10 minute walk from camp down to the river. We offer a morning swim option before breakfast, and then in the afternoon, usually people head down to the river for an afternoon swim. And occasionally we swim on our hikes if there's a lake or a river on the hike. We can swim during the day.
And I should warn you that the morning crew, even if it's 32 degrees out, the 6 a.m. swim goes anyway. So be prepared. And I believe, Mark, you did mention in the past that having some sort of swim footwear is a good thing too, right?
It's always good to have footwear swimming in these lakes and streams out west, because a number of people fish in them and whatever.
Yeah. So that's a little bit of that. And yoga, perhaps, if we have someone who's a yoga expert. Janine, moving on. Our fearless hike leaders will be doing a lot of reviewing. In this picture, they're planning the schedule and things. And to tell you about that hike schedule, I'm going to turn things over to our head hike leader, Deborah. You're on.
Fantastic. Well, hello, everyone. My name is Deborah Taylor, and I'm the head hike leader this year for weeks 1 and 2. I'm from Massachusetts, but I am seasonal in the Everglades area of Florida as well. This will be my 4th season with August Camp. The previous 3 have been hike leading. And this year, I have the honor to be head hike leader, taking the place and filling the shoes of Sam Jamke. So yes, hiking. That is the feature for this camp. And if you would like to review the details about the hiking offerings, I recommend going to the website under details. There's a tab with the guidebooks that we've used and will be using to plan the hikes, maps. There's a listing of the 73 or so hikes, A, B, and C hikes to choose from. You can print those out. You can buy the guidebooks and start to peruse what hikes you might like to be interested in during camp. So all that's available at the August Camp details site on that tab. And online here, I wanted to recognize that we have a number of our week 1 and 2 hike leaders with us who can all well, I don't know whether we can see waving at this point, but June and Greg and Jim and Charlie and Mark Hannon and Mark Kern and Donald and Luann and Chuck and Mark Hannon. If I didn't just say Mark Hannon, thank you. Thank you all for joining us to lead these hikes. Some of these folks are seasoned August Camp hike leaders. Some are new August Camp hike leaders. All are extremely experienced hike leaders and are very excited about offering up to 7 hikes a day. So that's some days there'll be 6 hikes. It depends if non-hiking activities are being offered, in which case those same hike leaders will be leading those non-hiking activities, whatever that one is, for the day. And I'll speak to those in a few minutes. So you might be familiar with the way hikes are laid out. They're laid out by level of difficulty, essentially, starting with the more advanced hikes, which may be 10 miles or so, 7 to 12 or so miles long, with upwards of 2,000 or more feet of elevation gain. And these are hikes that are going to be done at a fairly quick pace. So that's our advanced A hikes. Our intermediate or B hikes range about 5 to 10 miles, 1 to 2 feet of elevation gain, and they're more relaxed, but you're still going to be moving along at a steady pace. Then we have our C hikes. I feel like I'm a little bit with the Goldilocks and the 3 bears here. The C hikes, the baby bear hikes, are delightful. They're around 6 miles, 500 to 1,500 feet of elevation gain. They're more relaxed, as you might imagine, a little bit slower pace to take photos, look at the wildflowers, and so forth. So those hike lists show that rating system, the ranking of the ABC hikes, along with descriptions of the hikes and what guidebooks and maps they are in. So here's a few words about how the hiking program works. Each night before dinner, our hike leaders have put together a hike proposal sheet, a hike sheet, and they post it on the camp kiosk for what the next day's hike is going to be. And then, so at that point, you can take a look at what that offering is. There'll always be A, B, C hikes being offered. You can check those out. Look at your guidebooks, look at the descriptions, see what you might like to do the next day. And then at campfire, we present, our hike leaders present those hikes. And then you come up and say, tell me more about your hike, or I want to sign up for your hike, in which case then you sign up on those sheets. Those sheets are reposted on the kiosk until the next morning. And then the next morning, around 9 o'clock, although not always, the meet time roughly is around 9 o'clock. It might be a little before, a little after, depends on the distance, the drive distance, the length of the hike, and so forth. Hike leaders on those sheets, and part of their announcement will tell everyone where the hike is meeting and at what time. And then you leave for the trailhead. And normally you return around roughly 4 o'clock in the afternoon, maybe a little after. It gives everyone time to get cleaned up and start to prepare for that amazing meal that Karen was talking about. Now, finally, one of the things that we highly recommend is that you take time before camp to get in shape, to prepare, because once you're at camp, that's not the time to get in shape for being at camp and hiking. Probably six days. It could be 5, depends if you take advantage of some of the other non-hiking activities. And otherwise, you might get tired and you might not enjoy yourself as much. And there is, again, on the camp details link for August camp, some tips about getting into shape before camp. So that is the overview of what hiking is about. And of course, the goal is to have fun, and we certainly do have fun. We have a lot of fun. Are there any specific hiking questions, hiking related questions out there? Yes, there is a limit to the number of people on a hike, 12. And sometimes if a particular hike is very popular, we might offer that hike a second time during the week. So we're mindful of that, and we manage that. In fact, that happens quite a bit. All
And we
right.
and we can have some Q&A at the end. So
Sure.
if you think of something for Deborah, we can also circle back.
Excellent.
So I
And
lost the screen here, Janine.
Yeah, I turned it off.
Okay.
yes, and now I'm going to speak a bit about the non-hiking activities or other activities. So depending upon the region, and this year we all know where we're going to be, the North Cascades, and depending upon the hike leaders for a particular week, and what their proclivities are, what they would like to do for other activities, there's a range of activities offered. Not all of them, perhaps, and I'll go through that. Biking, backpacking, car camping, kayaking or rafting, so a paddling activity, and a service project. So for this year, and I'll just speak to weeks 1 and 2, and then an overview of 3 and 4. For week 1, we have for Tuesday overnight, Tuesday, Wednesday, we're very fortunate. In fact, this lady in the middle carrying the slab of wood is Margot Lacey. She loves to do long distance backpacking. She loves to backpack. She's very experienced. And for both weeks 1 and 2, she's offering a backpacking experience to Ghost Lake for experienced backpackers with their own equipment. She tells me that for week 1, she has 2 openings for this backpacking outing. And for week 2, she is filled, so she doesn't have any openings. I dropped in chat, and I can drop it in again, her contact information if you wanted to inquire about week 1, joining her for the backpack, or getting on a wait list for week 2. So then on Thursday of week 1 is the whitewater rafting trip. So the whitewater rafting will happen on Thursdays for all the weeks on the Saget River. It's a spectacular river. It'll be a fabulous morning of rafting. And the leaders of those trips for each week are posted again at camp details in the non-hiking activity drop downs by week. Both weeks 1 and 2 leaders, Charlie Arsenault and Claudine Coase, tell me that the rafting trips are full and waitlisted. Doesn't mean you might inquire about getting on a wait list. The same with kayaking. Kayaking is being offered by Jim Ohm in week 2. And this is also full. This paddling trip is full, but again, his contact information is in the drop downs. So service projects, all these, by the way, are limited to 12 participants. For service projects, campers do not need to sign up in advance. You can sign up during the week. Mark Kern, who's on the call, is doing the service project on Friday for week 1, and Greg Burnett, who's on the call, is doing it for week 2. And for all the weeks, those projects are going to be coordinated with and somewhere on the Saget Land Trust properties. And Saget Land Trust has a number of conservation properties in Saget County that look very nice. And so those projects specifically will be identified by the land trust. They could be trail maintenance oriented, and Mark and Craig will know closer in just what they look like and talk to you about it during the week. It's always a very popular offering. So now for weeks 3 and 4, instead, well, I'll start with biking. For both those weeks, there are biking activities offered for Mondays of week 3 and 4. And again, the contact leaders are in the drop downs. And they can then tell you what the situation is with whether their activity is full or not. And then instead of backpacking, both 3 and 4 have overnight camping, car camping offerings overnight. So it's Tuesday, Wednesday, and those hikes associated with those are A hikes or strong Bs. Then there are the rafting trips being offered and the service project, like I described. So those are the other activities for the weeks. They are always popular. So people like to mix it up a bit and do some of these activities that they like to do in a different part of the country. And it's always a good time.
Good. Thank you, Deborah. So we know something about the hiking and other activities that will be going on. At camp itself, there is a campfire every evening. And at that time, we talk about what happened during the day. People give reports on how the trips went. And then we hear about what the plans are for the next day and do our signups for the various hikes. And the way that is set up now is we divide campers into 3 groups so that each night a different group gets to come up first. After all the hikes are described, we'll call up a group to be the first to sign up. And the groups change every night so that different people get a chance to be the first ones up and make sure they get their choice of activities for the next day. So nobody gets always the dregs. And as mentioned previously, if there are hikes that are extremely popular, we will offer them again in probably at some other time during the week. So you will have a second chance or maybe even a third chance if this hike is really a big seller. So at campfire every night, Friday evening, we notice is Follies time, which is the August Camp talent or lack of talent, whatever, it doesn't matter. Just a chance for everybody to have some fun and show off some special talents. We have some amusing ones that come up sometimes, and we also have a number of musical instruments at camp, some guitars and ukuleles and things like that. And if you are able to play one of those, please let me know, and we will be happy to put you to work at campfire. And we do a little sing along a lot of times at the end of campfire or while the hikes are being signed up for. And the concept that, oh, but I can't sing, that is not acceptable. We know that all of you really can sing, even if you think you can't. So we hope you'll be ready to join in for a song or two before you pack it in for the evening. Janine is ready to click us on to the next slide. And note that sometimes we at Campfire have some special guest speakers. As mentioned, we usually have some singing. And now and then we even try our hand at a bit of dancing. Some of you may remember that Noel Cotter has been with us on a number of occasions and led Irish dancing at camp. And we can't guarantee what will happen this year, but be prepared for some fun activities. And transportation. I'd like to turn things over to our transportation coordinator at this point. Sandy, can you tell them a little bit about how transportation will work?
Okay. So first thing with transportation is that you all need to make sure you filled out a transportation form when you registered or once you got your flights. And you need to fill out a form whether or not you need transportation. That way, if you don't need transportation, I can cross you off my list and I won't be waiting for you at the airport. Last year, I actually did have someone who said they didn't need transportation and showed up a few minutes before I was ready to leave. So it's really important. I don't want to leave anybody behind. So make sure you filled out that form. So your arrival at SeaTac, I will be waiting for you. There's going to be a big sign. I don't see the slides. Are the slides?
There, you're on the transportation
We have a
slide.
Okay.
slide of the van.
Okay.
I don't think we have the SeaTac picture. No.
Okay. I
That
was
comes
looking
up
at
a little
last
later.
year's.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's a big sign that says August Camp, and I'll have that out. You're going to meet me at baggage claim 16. Last year, there was no baggage claim 16, so hopefully this year there will be one. It's at the very end of one side of the terminal, and there's a row of seats under an escalator, and I'll be there waiting for you. So once you get off your plane, go get your baggage, and then come meet me at the escalators at baggage claim 16. If you get delayed or if your flight gets moved or canceled, please let me know as soon as you can. I believe an email will go out a couple weeks before we go to camp with my telephone number should be listed on that as an emergency contact. There's driving directions to camp, and they're on the August Camp website. You can print them off from there. I think there's also a link where you can look at it where it is on the map. It's about 2.5 hours to the campsite, so it's a long drive. There's going to be 13 vans available for us to use during the week. Each van will be assigned a driver. As you guys come in, I'll try to get people into vans with a driver as soon as I can, but sometimes 6 drivers come in at once and I can't send all the drivers out in one car. So just be patient if you're a driver or you're camper, and I'll get you on the next van as soon as I can. But sometimes things get ahead, like I have too many drivers or I have too many campers. But we'll do our best to get you out, and just be patient. Once you get in your van, someone may be around to escort you. I'm not sure if my husband Jeremy's going to be there, and what's the guy's name? I
And
can't remember.
Ledge will be there.
Ledge may be there to help people find the cars and stuff, but they're all parked on the roof of the parking area. They're all together and they're all numbered, so it won't be hard to find them. When you leave the airport in your van, there'll be a driver and a navigator, and please be respectful and make sure that they can talk to each other and they're not being interrupted. The driver will probably be nervous about driving, especially if they've never driven to camp before. And anybody who did sign up to be a driver, we really appreciate it, because the more drivers that we have, the less burden there'll be on the drivers to drive. You may not even have to drive, depending on how many drivers they are. Last year, we had quite a few, so it was very good for the people who like to drive and the people who didn't like to drive. That worked out pretty well. So when you're driving to camp, they don't want you to get there before 2 o'clock, because they'll be setting things up. So have lunch, because lunch will not be provided. Stop at a store, get a cooler if you're going to want a cooler for your beer and wine. Pick up your beer and wine, get some ice, get some snacks, get some batteries, do that kind of stuff before you get to camp. Remember at the end of the day just to pick up your stuff and take all your things with you. It's probably a good idea to bring a phone charging cord. Last year we had 13 different vehicles. So some had C chargers in them, some had B, some had cigarette lighters. So it was a mishmash of vehicles. So we're never sure what we're going to get. Are we wearing masks in vans? I
Yes.
think,
And we'll be talking about that later.
okay. Let's see. Phone chargers and cords, adapters. And my telephone number will come to you a couple of weeks before. So just make sure you did fill out your transportation form. If you're a driver, make sure you send in your driving information. And there's usually some kind of quiz or a little bit of training that you have to do. Make sure you do that. If you don't, I'll be bugging you to get it in. So.
And we have a
That's
question
it.
about, do drivers need to fill the van with gas before arriving at camp?
Since it's a 2-hour drive, maybe yes, it would be a good idea. We don't want the vans to go out or to come in with less than half a tank. That way the person leaving in the morning doesn't have to worry about finding a gas station. There is a gas station in Concrete before you get to camp, and then there's one probably about 15 miles after camp. So if you forget, then you're going to end up going an extra 15 miles to fill up. So check your tank, make sure it's at least half full before you go to camp. So that's a good question. Anything else?
Okay. Anything else on transportation at this
That's
point?
it.
Okay, thank you, Sandy. And I see we have moved on to the gear list, which talks about, what do I really need to bring to camp? Well, in fact, there is on the website something that you can read about that, and it is categorized as things you definitely need, and those are things that are kind of required and things that are recommended. So make sure you take a look at that list carefully and use it as you're packing. It's up to you how much of the recommended stuff you want to take and can make room for, but it's not as scary as it might seem to be able to get all those things in when you're packing, if you plan ahead. And now this is the picture that Sandy was looking for before. With the picture, what can you look for when you get to the airport? This is this lovely sign that you will find. It says, August Camp welcomes you. And that is, as Sandy noted, next to baggage claim 16, assuming the construction hasn't buried that sign like they did last year, or buried the gate 16. So, health and safety. Well, safety is very much a priority for us at August Camp. We still are concerned about some COVID safe practices, even though we are beyond the scary time, the worst times of COVID, it's still out there. So we do take some concerns for that. It is also important that if you have any health concerns, let me know. Don't hide in your tent and think, oh, well, I'll get over it. No, if there's something going on, let us know. There are all sorts of urgent care centers nearby. We have a whole safety plan in place. We would rather deal with problems early on in the game than wait for you to suffer silently for a while first. So please feel free to let me know if there's anything going on. And also, if you notice that someone else seems to be not doing well, when you're on the trail or something, be considerate and help them, and let us, the leader, and us know about what those problems are.
Lenny, I'm just going to jump in for a second. And if you've had any major health changes that would affect your health form, you can fill out another form and then just let us know so we can update our records. So just wanted to throw that.
Good point. So we had a question before about communicable illnesses. And the policy is that if the illness jeopardizes the health and participation of other campers, the camper who is ill may be asked to leave. We have had cases where someone has come down with COVID. Obviously, we don't want somebody in a very close living situation like August Camp who has COVID. So and it is stated on the website that if that happens, you will be asked to go to a hotel nearby. We will get you to a place. There are a number of options in town, and we may well ask you to leave. Notice also the thing here about getting travel insurance. Things happen. Sometimes people get ill and can't go to camp as originally planned, or get sick and have to go home. Please make sure you get travel insurance. There is information on the web about that. We cannot reimburse you because you got ill and had to go home. But if you have good travel insurance, they will do that for you. And it's a very important, worthwhile safety thing to get that insurance. Janine, moving on. So maintaining a healthy camp. We hope that you will arrive fit and in good health, fully vaccinated against COVID, if that works for you. Before camp, please wear a mask if you're in a closed or crowded space, for a party, or the week before a camp. Be a little concerned about that kind of thing. And at camp, please wear a mask in the airport. You're in very tight quarters. You're in a van traveling to camp with a bunch of strangers. We ask that you do wear a mask at that time. And for the first couple of days at camp, we ask that people wear masks in the van, because we have discovered that it's usually in those early days that if someone has come in with germs, that's when they're contagious and when things are happening. We don't keep the mask thing going the whole time we're at camp, but for a couple of days, we do try to be protective and make sure that that's going well. It's important that you observe good hand washing practices. We do have nice wash stands, and we ask that you use them and put them to good use in getting ready for meals and things. Moving on. Cell phone use. We ask, I'm not 100% sure what the connectivity will be. Different phone companies have different levels of connectivity. Not sure what we have right where we are at camp, but what we have discovered in the past is that some people will have a loud conversation, or try to have a loud conversation in their tent, which does at night, which doesn't work well, because you're close enough to other people that they're probably hearing every word and they're trying to sleep and they don't really want to hear every word. So we ask that you please, if you want to make a phone call, go find a private area away from the tents and make your call not in the immediate camp area. We recommend that you bring devices for charging your phones and things in the van, because you spend time going there every day, and it's a great opportunity to charge a number of phones at once. So make sure you have some sort of charger that works with your phone and connects into charging situations in the van. There will also be a limited shared charging station, I believe. Mark, can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Last year, we had a solar charging station, and although I haven't talked to Becca this year, because it belongs to us, I assume that will be set up again, and it worked really well. We found some difficulty trying to charge phones in cars. The trips aren't long enough to do much, and some of the charging ports are really for data, not for charging phones. So I would bring a battery pack with me and keep that charged while at camp, and then use that to charge my phone. That seems to work best.
Yes, I agree. The battery pack is a wonderful idea. I just got used to that a couple of years ago, and I love it. It's definitely worth having. Leave no trace camping. Please don't leave any trash around your site, especially in your tent. No food in the tents. That just invites all sorts of critters to come closer than we want them to be. So we do have bear boxes at camp. We ask that you put any food that you have in those bear boxes. There will be some containers there, or you can, better yet, bring your own container if you want, and have it marked with your name on it, and place those containers in the bear box, especially at night. Unscented soap and shampoo are also recommended for the shower areas. Someone asked something about using soap in the river. That's not desirable. If you want to use soap and things, please make sure you do it with the sun shower. So when camp is over, what happens? Well, that's when you start looking ahead to August Camp 2027. And you'll start counting the days until you get there. And you, as campers, will find out at camp this year where you'll be the first to know where camp will be for the following year. At this point, we would like to go into a little question and answer period. I see we've had a number of questions coming in the chat that we'd like to take a look at now. Janine, can you tell us maybe some that you've seen in there?
So some people asked about National Park Pass. So if you have a National Park Pass, America the Beautiful Pass, one of those, like definitely bring it. That would be helpful. I don't remember us having to show passes to get into North Cascades.
There's no entry fee.
Yeah, so one of the few. But bring the pass anyway. It's good to have it. Let's see. Just because there's been a lot of discussion about the river. The river is very cold. It's glacier mount, but that's really fun. So we encourage you to give it a shot. Bathing, like in the river, is for, you may find it that challenging, but you also might find it refreshing. So it depends. I think they had an early snow melt but it's coming off the glaciers, but they've had an early snow melt there. So a lot of snow might already be melted. Camp chairs, bring your own or borrow, rent. We have camp chairs. We suggest a donation to the crew for the chair rental. And we also have tarps available. There have been enough for everyone.
And speaking of things for the crew, we did have a question before about tipping the crew. Hopefully you will find after working with these kiddos for a week that they are amazing. And yes, we do hope that you will feel inspired to leave some sort of a tip for them at the end of the week. Therefore, it would be good to bring either some cash or a check, or they usually have some sort of what did they use last year? Do you remember, Janine? Zelle, some of the different
Zelle or PayPal or something.
Yeah, there were a couple of options to do things like that as well. So we don't, say you must leave X amount, but we hope that you will find that the service was good and you'd like to leave something, as these are all folks who are making their way through college and could very much appreciate a little extra money for that purpose.
A question about bugs. The bug nets are on the gear list. I've always brought a bug net with me, not for sleeping, just for like campfire. Sometimes you need it, sometimes you don't. Kind of just depends on the year. If you have one of those little like head nets, can't hurt to stick it in your pack.
I see a question about sending in driver info, for example, your certificates from AARP class. That will be coming out, I believe, from Virginia in the next month or so, right? She will send out something about driver certification to everyone who signed up as a driver. So stay tuned and watch for that.
There was a question about safety concerns using the porta potties at night due to animals.
Never had a problem with that.
Yeah.
So.
Just be careful and what this is a very easy site. Like our last one, there were a lot of roots and you just had to be careful about tripping, but this is gonna all be grass and easy to and open to get to. And most of the photos from the presentation were actually from this location. So a couple of them, actually maybe all of them were from this location. So, see what else we have. Arrive at the airport between 11 and 2. Weeks 2, 3, and 4, you don't want to arrive much earlier than that either, because week 1 people will be coming in and Sandy will need to be staging the vans and getting ready.
And I see a question about how do the hikes compare to the White Mountains? If you look at the hike list that is on the website, you will see at the top of the list, it specifically talks about White Mountain hikes and what is comparable to the hikes that we are offering. So yeah, they have fewer rocks generally, so that makes it a little bit easier. But yeah, they on the website, in fact, Janine, you might want to point out some of the wonderful links and the email that you were sent out to all campers from August Camp a couple times in the last week with lots of good links. Could you explain that?
Well, all of the information is on one page on the website, but I sent out the emails I sent out this week had links to each section in case you're just looking for specific information. Make sure you take time to read through everything. I'm sure most people by this point have. All the alternative activities are on there. All the information about health and wellness, what happens if you get sick, all of that's posted. We can't specifically recommend travel insurance company, but we do encourage you to consider that. And we've had situations where people have needed to use their travel insurance. So yeah, there's lots of information. We just posted the other day last week we posted the hike list that Deborah was talking about. Because there was they were really making sure that the hikes were available. So those lists are there. You can download those, print them off, and there's lots of other information.
And
There's
Janine, didn't you mention
directions.
that sometimes people don't get the emails that you send from August Camp Committee because they have a block or a filter or something, so they need to make sure that these don't get lost in their spam or something, right?
Yeah, I think we were last week. I sent an email out last week, and it turned out there was some weird MailChimp glitch, which is why I resent, I think on Friday. And so occasionally that happens. Nobody's bouncing right now, so everybody's getting the emails. But it does help to make sure that our hiker@augustcamp.org email is saved in your contacts. That's our primary contact email.
And one important bit of information we haven't talked about for our new campers is the fact that you will have an ambassador who will help you make the transition. And Deborah is in charge of those ambassadors. Deborah, can you tell them a little bit about what they can expect with the information coming in that way?
Sure. Good evening, everybody. Good to see lots of friendly faces, people that I know and people I don't know. I am the ambassador coordinator for weeks 1 and 2, and you, as a new camper, a lot of people on here are not new campers, but if you are a new camper, we endearingly call you newbies, and you are assigned a seasoned camper to help you transition through the days at camp and the days going up to camp. Your ambassador should have reached out to you by this point. If they haven't, if you can shoot either Janine or Lenny a message and let them know that you have not heard, and I will make sure to get in touch with you. There are several questions I'm sure you'll have, and there will be lots of things that you'll want to have questions and know where to go. Like what Janine was talking about, how to get to the site that has all the information on it, has the pull down menus, etc., and how to make sure that you can get through all the paperwork that you need to get to Sandy for your travel. The other thing that makes it helpful is you have a friendly face or a friendly voice to meet up with someone when you arrive at camp, and then they can give you a tour around the campgrounds itself and show you kind of what a normal day would be and where things are, where the dining tent is, where the porta potties are, where the showers are set up, where campfire will be, where the meeting areas are, etc. And they would be your point of contact for the whole week. Sometimes it's nice if you're just a single person arriving at camp by yourself. It gives a face to be able to go and have dinner with, sit down at the dining tent with somebody and at least have someone to talk to because you've probably spoken to them or had email conversations with them before that. The biggest thing I can say is if you haven't heard from your ambassador, if you would please either reach out to, I say Janine or Lenny, because they can get information to me easily. And then I can make sure to get in touch with whomever your ambassador is. They should have reached out to you by way of an email or a phone call, text. So if you haven't heard from them, please let me know. There's a lot of information that you might have some questions on. So anything else you think of, Lenny?
Well, just one thing I would like to do too is point out that a number of people have probably already had some communication with our registrar, Lois Rothenberger, who is on here. And I'd like to just ask her
Is
to
she?
say hi because she puts in so many hours on this job. Once again, another August Camp volunteer. And Lois, wave at everybody and say hi and tell them what you do.
Hi, well, I collect the applications, use the lottery system to assign people to various weeks, ask questions, verify membership, collect all the forms except for the transportation forms and put them in files and I answer the questions. Janine answers a number of them and I answer a number of them that come in to the website. So that's it. I enjoy it very much.
Yay. So,
It's a massive job.
yes,
It's a massive job, and Lois is amazing at it.
correct. So,
There was one comment about trails. Someone asked, like, how does the North Cascades compare to the White Mountains? And Luann put in a nice response. They have a lot of switchbacks. A lot of the trails were primarily pack trails, and so they tend to not be as steep as the White Mountains, but longer and more gradual. A lot of switchbacks, so lots of time to see the flowers and take in the scenery as you're walking.
yes, and I see we've had a number of our August Camp Committee members and leaders putting information into the chat. Many thanks to all of you who did answer those questions for folks. And hopefully everybody's been looking at some of those responses in the chat and also at some of the links that were provided there that may be helpful. So are there any other questions that we should be getting to at this point, or are we ready to call it a night?
Just there will be tarps and there will be chairs.
Mhm.
So I saw another question about that. And there, yeah, I don't see. I think we've covered. I think we've covered. Any other last minute questions? Anyone want to?
Yeah, Bill is reminding me to tell everyone to make sure and stop on the way to camp and pick up if you need adult beverages or any last minute supplies. Yes, cash for the rentals would be good because that just goes in the tip jar, and we usually ask like a $5 donation for a chair, $5 for a tarp. So yes, that would be good.
Todd, did you have a question?
Yeah, I was going to say, I already have an Airbnb the Friday evening before week 2. So if anybody wants to come in like that Friday and not come in, and needs a place to stay near SeaTac, it's there's a room enough for 2 people. If it's a couple, that'd be easier. They can use the one room and I can use the other bed. So anyways, I think I'll just put my contact, or I don't know if you have a way to send it out to everybody, but that would be, I'm open to people reaching out to me about that.
The vans will stop at the store to pick up, snack provisions and lunch on the way, SeaTac to camp. These are just recent. And then the driver certification, there's like a safety PDF that Virginia and Sandy will have you read. There's a few different ways, but you don't have to take a course. They'll be sending out a handout for you to review and communicate back to Sandy and Virginia. And there is plenty of fresh. Karen, you want to explain the water buffalo?
Yes. So one of the jobs of crew here on this site, there is not water directly on site, like fresh potable water on site, but we will get water from like the owner's nearby site. There is a very large, we call it a water buffalo. It's basically a very large water reserve tank that we fill up whenever it starts to run low. So whenever you are at camp, there should always be water. We fill it up. It has a spigot at the bottom, so you can turn it on kind of like you turn on the faucet. You will fill up your water. You will fill up your sun shower. You can kind of fill up anything you want with it. And we make sure that it is full at all times. It is potable water. It is tested by us and approved by the county that we are in. We have one in our kitchen. You will have one for your use, and it's always available for you.
Good. Yay. So I think we've probably covered a lot of questions here now, and I think a lot of people are probably as smart as they have as much in their heads as they can handle. So we'd like to thank you all for being with us tonight. We look forward to seeing you at camp next summer, and thanks for joining us tonight to try and learn more about how things work.
Thank you, Lennie.
Thank you,
for
Lennie.
coordinating, and Deborah and Sandy and Karen.
Good. And we'll let Janine sign us off.
All right,
all.
recording is stopped.